This is game 1 of the sealed championship held at SorceryCon 2026. At the top of the screen is Andrew playing a Persecutor, and then I am at the bottom of the screen playing a Spellslinger. So first turns here, no first turn plays for either of us, just getting some sights down. And just getting out a Blessed Well into the center. And then with 2 mana, a Holy Warrior. So his lands and his minions are blessed indeed. I think what you're going to see here, if I remember this match correctly, I have a mirror play. So I get down a Blessed Well as well, and then also a Holy Warrior. So yeah, there's the. I know that there's the. It's a Blessed Village instead. So I get a Blessed Village out, and then I also get a Holy Warrior out. So a lot of ward tokens here. Right at the beginning of the game, at the end of turn 2. The sealed, the limited championship at SorceryCon was a 2-day event. Day 1 was a sealed tournament, 6 rounds Swiss, and you had to end the day in top 64. In order to make the cut to day 2. Day 2 were pods of 8, single elimination, and each pod did a new draft, So you got a new deck for day 2 of the competition. Getting out, Andrew getting out a River Rapid. 3 mana for a crawler, so a 3 power body. And then he's opting to trade wards on the Holy Warriors. Passing turn. Setting up for my turn 3 here. Drawing a spell for turn. I think the sight in my hand is a Blessed Well. I would imagine that I play that adjacent to the River Rapid. Based on what's on the board right now, there's not a ton of advantage to ignoring that square. If he wants to push a minion forward with River Rapid, all he has to do is play forward from his River Rapid, and he's still in the same position to attack my sites, more or less as I would be if I just played the site there. At least that way I can put the Blessed Well down, and it comes in with the ward to make life a little bit harder for him in the near future. 2 mana for an ignited to take out the crawler, and then opting to just advance my Holy Warrior forward to remove the ward on his Blessed Well instead of trading it outright for his Holy Warrior. My thought process there was I needed to lock down the ward at some point anyways. I'd rather just advance forward and threaten with that piece. If he wants to trade, he can certainly try to do it on his next turn, and that's what he does here. He uses the Persecutor to swing in. He'll take 2 damage, but he will kill the Holy Warrior. Then Andrew opting to knock the ward off of the site with his own Holy Warrior instead of moving forward and attacking my home site. 3 mana, and he can put down was it a Night Watchman and reward the well on his side. So Andrew's sitting in pretty good position on the board right now. Although if we're looking at like cards in hand in terms of card advantage, I believe at this point looks like I'm holding 5 cards. So I do have some options to respond here. My 4th site looks like it was Autumn Bloom. Paying 2 to put down Noxious Corpse, and then 3 for a Lesser Blood Demon. Lesser Blood Demon takes 2 life points. You lose 2 life when it comes into play. And looking back on this match, it might have been better if I had played that maybe just even on the same site as the Noxious Corpse, so it would be out of range, or a little bit harder to remove from the table. It just it's really bad when you have a card like that has an upfront cost, like costing you 2 life, and then before you get to activate it, when you pass turn, if they remove it from the table, is just like kind of a lose-lose for you, because then you've now paid 2 life for the card, and then you've lost the card before you've had a chance to even do anything with it. Andrew is choosing to bury the Lesser Blood Demon, which is an interesting play. It's an aggressive play. It's attacking for 3 onto my site and then passing turn. It is an interesting play. I don't know if I would have done that. I might have just tried to keep it. I might have just tried to keep the Buried Alive for a more tempting target, something that would be a little harder to deal with. And opting to tap for that sight on his previous turn there, getting up to 4 mana base. With the Persecutor, it is really beneficial if you can get your mana base set and then kind of advance up and start swinging as early as you can, taking advantage of the Persecutor's ability to step itself towards nearest evil, just to save action and save yourself a turn of having to tap to move to get into position. Can make it pretty fast, and then if you can get into position with the Persecutor and just start attacking in for 2 points of damage per turn, that puts a lot of pressure on your opponent. Playing Moss Troll here. Moss Troll in position more just to I think try to trade with the Night Watchman that he has put down. It has stealth, so the Persecutor can't attack it. It makes it harder to interact with. I found this move a little surprising from Andrew. He chose to tap again for another site to play another Valley. 2 mana for Gift of the Frog. I wasn't sure if he was looking for a specific threshold, or if he needed to Earth threshold specifically for some things in his deck. But again, like, he's in position to start attacking with the Persecutor. He certainly has that option to do that. He's trying to move and attack with the Night Watchman, and I go ahead and just block with the Troll. So if you think about like kind of the order of how you layer actions to see what your opponent is going to do, if he had chosen to attack with the Militia first before tapping Persecutor, That would have given him some more information in terms of whether I decide to block or not. If he decide, if I didn't decide to block, then he could choose to tap the Persecutor instead. But if I did block and do that trade first, it leaves that site more open to allow the Persecutor to attack in instead of tapping for a site. And I don't know if that's like the correct play with what he had in his hand, or what he's angling for with his sites. But it's just like something to think about in terms of like how to layer your actions to kind of give yourself more flexibility until you have to make that decision. I guess my point is like you don't have to make that decision about whether or not you're going to attack in with the Persecutor until you've done a couple other things on the board and seeing how your opponent's going to react. My turn 5 here, I get out a Pile of Skulls. So Pile of Skulls, or are we on turn 6 at this point? Turn 5 or 6? I lost count. Pile of Skulls is very, very strong, or can be very strong in limited play. In Gothic limited especially, there are very few ways to deal with an artifact, a monument, and it can just continue to banish a card per turn in the cemetery. So it gives you some utility there if there's something in a cemetery that you want gone, that they can't like recursion back out. And then also just gives you a skeleton body every turn. And you're continuing to tap for sites, and now I think I see what he was trying to do. He decided that he wanted to keep playing sites out on turn here in order to be able to pay for the Harkening Kraken. And then unfortunately for him, he didn't realize that the Kraken's ability requires it to be summoned submerged underwater. So that's, again, like I think that's I think I talked about that in the deck building video when I was building this deck for the tournament. But like I have a Kraken in my deck as well, and I wasn't super excited to play it. And one of the reasons why I wasn't super excited to play it was just because it's really slow. You have to play that thing submerged. It takes you at least one turn to bring it up, and then you're off to the races, maybe. Best case scenario. Banishing a card here, just so I can get that skeleton token generated. And then I believe I just push forward with the skeleton that I already had on board, attacking for a point. At this point, I'm just having a brief laugh with my opponent Andrew. We're just talking about how sometimes you forget that there are a lot of status tokens in this game, and he had forgotten all of his tokens before coming, because he forgot that he had, he needed a lot of them to play the game. Yeah, and spending this turn to play a Shoggoth. Shoggoth all the way into his back corner, with 2 attack vectors into his sights, and then the board has gone fairly wide there, so making it a little bit more difficult for him to respond. It's all the way on the opposite side of the board there, against the Kraken, so it's very difficult for him to get the Kraken into any sort of position to address the Shoggoth. He's going to have to probably find another way to deal with it. Spending that turn again with movement to bring the Kraken up. And one thing he could do, which makes the Kraken a little bit better in his specific situation, is he's on River Rapids. He could use River Rapids to push the Kraken if he needs to. Andrew choosing to move and attack with his persecutor to knock down a skeleton. I think he was just nervous about the skeletons becoming untenable and kind of getting out of control there. And then paying for a Paladins of Bazia. Paladins of Bazia in a good defensive position for the Shoggoth. It can't kill the Shoggoth, but because it comes in with a ward, it buys him a minimum of 1 to 2 turns if left uncontested there. I do have 1 skeleton on the board right now in position to attack the Paladins and knock off that ward. He doesn't have any defenders up. So if I can come up with a way to remove the Paladins this turn, I have a way to at least take the ward off to make that happen. So I am choosing to do that. I'm going to knock the ward off. And even if I didn't have a solution immediately, I probably would have done that anyways, just to take the opportunity to get the ward off as soon as possible. Creating the token with the pile of skulls, paying 2 for a toolbox, and then casting a Trial by Water from my collection. Paladins of Bazia on top of Algae Bloom, so that will drown them. And that takes 5 mana, so I only have 1 left for turn. But that was all I needed to do that turn. Attacking him with the Shoggoth for 5 points, and then passing turn. So passing turn back to Andrew, and what I was trying to say before is that because the Kraken is on the river rapids, he could propel it forward and then attack one of my non-warded sites from there once it's on the Blessed Well site. So he can threaten in to get an attack in on sites with the Kraken. And I do not have defenders on that side of my grid currently. So if he wants to start racing to door, I think he's in a good position to do that. Andrew choosing to tap the Persecutor to draw a sight, which is surprising. He must be fishing. I feel like he's fishing for something like really specific if he's trying to do that. Or it also could be just that he doesn't have a ton of experience in playing Persecutor yet. And Persecutor can be a little tricky in terms of like kind of having a good sense of what to do with it. It does have 2 power, which makes it a little bit more appealing to kind of spend those avatar actions to attack instead of tapping to draw or place sites, especially when you have your site base and threshold base kind of fixed and set up here. So he's sitting at 6 mana in his mana pool, 6 sites, and it looks like 3 earth and 3 water. So unless there's like something very specific that he's trying to splash for into a 3rd element for 1 threshold that he hasn't been able to hit, it feels like a better use of the Persecutor to be able to swing in and push additional damage. It looks like Andrew attacked with the Kraken, and I think he just forgot that River Rapid allowed him to get that free movement on the push. So he just chose to attack in and remove the ward from the Blessed Well site. On my turn here, I'm casting a Defender. to create a problem for him with the Kraken there. The 6 mana for an Undesirables. And then passing turn back again. Putting him in a tough position here just because I keep getting swings in with this Shoggoth in the back corner. And he is kind of one swing away from door at this point. He needs a blocker or a way to remove the Shoggoth from the board. Tapping for an Autumn Bloom. So if he was looking for a Threshold fixing, that would have been the card that would have done it for him. But instead it looks like he was just trying to steadily ramp into that 10-ton slug. Trading his Kraken with the Undesirables just to remove those 5s from the board, and then having a 10-ton slug on the back row with the Shoggoth, which honestly is a bit of a concern, just because 7 power is a lot of power, and it is all the way on the back there, so it can be a little slower to get it up into attack position to threaten sites, but it is threatening to eat the Shoggoth at the moment. If I'm looking at defensive solutions, the Shoggoth has Void Walk. I could move it into the Void. He could just cast a site under it and walk over onto his own site that he just cast and then kill it still, but then it would be in the corner. I could you essentially kite it into the corner and buy yourself another turn or two, because then he has to walk the slug back. I catch a break and I have a smite in my hand, and I cast smite to banish it because it's a monster. It's an evil minion. Attacking in with the Shoggoth for door. I think I killed the frog token to remove his blocker, and then moving my skeletons into position, using the pile skulls to create another skeleton, and then taking a step up just because I need to corner him for door at this point, for the final strike. Now that he is at door, I think removing the slug probably took a lot of the wind out of his sails at this point. He was probably hoping to be able to stabilize with that thing, kill the Shoggoth, and then start eating skeletons and regain board presence. He has a Holy Nova, which is going to remove all of those skeletons that are on the board. If the slug had been able to stick, and then he Holy Nova'd and removed the Shoggoth, he would have been in a much stronger position to launch kind of a counter offensive here and retake the board. Tapping with the Persecutor, he's probably going to try to run. He can't stay where he's at, or the Shoggoth just kills him on the next turn without a blocker. And he has limited options onto where he can move, just because my Spell Slinger is there now. So he's going to move directly in front of my Spell Slinger, but play a Search Party as a blocker. However, I have a Flame Strike in my hand as a kill spell, so that's going to end the game. So this is a really fun game to play. It was really fun just meeting the people that come to large events like this. I think Andrew had said that he's been playing since Alpha, off and on, but he's more probably more like a casual player or an enjoyer of the game. He hasn't really played a lot competitively since Gothic came out. So some of those cards are a little kind of new in your mind at that point. But just a really friendly guy, a really fun opponent, And like I said, like even in the games that I lost at this event, I had so much fun every time. And I think my opponents, I think everyone I played did as well. So that's the end of round 1, and we'll see you in round 2 of the Sealed Championship, day 1.